Hello everyone, today I'm back with a brand new video, but this time we're going to be talking about help for MRCOG Part 2 exam. I get numerous emails every day in my inbox to say, how do you pass this exam? So I thought, why don't I share with you a resource that I personally think is very useful in order to help you pass the exam. I'm very excited to share with you this particular resource, which I think will be very, very beneficial for you and help you pass the Part 2 exam, hopefully with no difficulty whatsoever. Just a little reminder about the MRCOG Part 2 exam. It's a computer-based exam and candidates must pass the Part 2 before they can complete the Part 3 and get full registration for MRCOG. It's a computer-based exam, so you'll be sat in front of a computer and you will be given the questions, you'd be selecting your answer and then clicking onto the next page to reveal the next question and so forth. You can mark the questions that you want to come back to, so there will be a little marking button on the screen that you could click, and those questions will then be flagged up for you to review them later on. But it's essentially in front of a computer that you'll be doing this exam. So revising and reviewing material on computer is the best way to practice this exam because it's not paper based anymore. So as much as books and things can be useful, you don't want to be just practicing on that, because at the end of the day the exam is on a computer, so your eyes have to get used to be able to focus on a screen for that length of time, and for you to be able to think through the questions in a digital format and then select the right response. Now, some of you have previously informed me that you have had difficulty because your eyes were not used to be focusing on a screen for that long. So I really do suggest, because the MRCOG exam is round the corner, that you start practicing on a computer based resource in order to train your eyes and your mind and to be able to sit for that length of time and be adequately prepared to do the exam. Now, this resource that I'm going to be sharing next with you would help you to do exactly that, because it's a digital resource. All the questions are online and you can practice that over and over again in order to get your mind and sight both refocused. So as I said, this is a computer-based exam with two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Both papers will be done on the same day, but you will have a lunch break in between the two papers. Both papers will have single best answers and extended matching questions. Both papers are equally weighed at 50%. So you get 50% of your marks from paper 1 and of your marks from paper 2. So you have to concentrate and do well in both papers. The single best answer questions are worth 40% of the total marks. The EMQs, or the extended matching questions, are worth 60% of the total marks, so they're worth more than the SPAs, which means you have to practice lots and lots of both types of questions because you want to maximize your points, your score from the two types of questions. One is 3 hours long. There is 50 single best answers and 50 extended matching questions. Paper 2 is also 3 hours long. There is 50 SPAs and 50 EMQs. So both papers are equally weighed. However, the EMQs score you more points than the single best answer questions. This is the resource that I am so excited to share with you. It's called Master MRCOG. Now, some of you will remember that I did share the same resource for Part 1 question bank as well. Now they've released their Part 2 question bank. and I've had lots of positive feedback from all of you who have used their part one to say that you've really benefited from it. And now that they've introduced their part two, I couldn't hold myself and wait to share this news with you. So it's done in a format. So this is the website that you would go on to. It's called Master MRCOG. It has a countdown on there as to how many days and hours are left for the exam, which can be slightly threatening. However, this is done with an intention in order for you to be able to tailor your revision, as to how many days are left, so you know where to concentrate and to revise your weak points. There is 4,000 SBA and EMQ questions in their question bank. These have also got the past exam recalls from the years 2012 to 2023, which is very helpful. The best thing about this resource is you are able to practice over and over and over again, especially the questions that you get wrong. So meaning that when you do a question and you get it wrong for some reason, you get the answer straight away. So you would learn from that answer and then be able to practice that question over and over and over again. Is their subscriptions and also how much it costs. Now, the one that I really recommend is the one for 6 months, which is $130. Now, you may think this is really pricey, but trust me, this price is nothing compared to that freedom that you will get when you pass this exam. You want a resource that is well established, that's got lots of useful questions and things for you to revise in order to keep on track for this revision, because it's impossible for you to revise for this exam just from textbooks and from lots of revision materials. You want a resource that will keep jogging your memory in order for you to retain the information. So if you do this for 6 months over and over and over again, you'll be able to memorize lots and lots of answers and be able to read lots of help that's available underneath the questions when you get the questions wrong, in order for you to get the right understanding for that topic. So this amount of money is going to buy you freedom, a pass for the exam, and also just think about the amount of time you will save in your life if you pass this exam in the first attempt, because having to do reattempts over and over again are also costly. They also take a lot of time and life away from you. So you want to give it your best and do the exam in one go, so you are all done and dusted in the first attempt. Okay, so again, these are timed timelines on their website. Again, just as a reminder, so you know exactly how many days are left. You are not in a false delusion that you've got a lot of time, which before exams, we all think we've got time until the week before, when we panic and want to try and do everything in that week. So in order for you not to end up in that scenario, there is a timeline for you to keep track of your revision. They also have an Android app that you can go on to and practice questions. So if you were in a clinic or in a theatre and you had to wait between patients, you can just go onto the app and start practicing questions, because it only takes a couple of seconds and you will definitely benefit and learn from it. So this is an example of a question that I've taken from their website. Now I wanted to show you the layout of the question with the options provided. So in this scenario, there's a 26-year-old patient who attends for her first smear test. The GP cannot visualize the cervix and has asked for your advice. Now if you look at the options, they are all very closely related. So advice smear is due. Advice smear is due in 12 months. Advice smear is due in 2 years. Advice smear is due in 3 years. Refer to colposcopy. Advice 5-yearly smears. So you can see there's a whole list of options that you can choose from. The right answer in this context is refer to colposcopy. So the smear, so the cervix can be visualized and smear can be taken. And you can see it highlights it straight away for you that your answers is correct, and also gives you the reasoning for the answer. Similarly, if you had chosen a different answer and the answer was incorrect, it would then have given you the right answer along with the options as to an explanation as to why the answer was incorrect. So this is a little bit of background in the question. So this is underneath the question. You'll get points as to why your answer was correct or wrong. So as you can see, it talks about the UK cervical screening guideline. It tells you when is smear due, which age group needs it every 3 years, which age group needs it every 5 years, and so forth. So which is quite a helpful reminder when you're revising for your part 2. Again, this is a very helpful summary of the UK HPV screening program from 2019. It tells you exactly what to do in case of abnormal or normal results for the smear test. Now, this is something that can be so many questions derived from this. So having this basic understanding and knowledge is so crucial, and these questions are the ones that you just want to not miss any points on, because you don't know what the next question will be and from where is that question taken. But at least if a question is taken from a guideline, then that's the sort of question that you want to be able to answer straight away, so you don't miss any marks on it. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope this video was useful for you, and I hope lots of you will subscribe to the Master MRCOG question bank for part 2 as well, like you did for part 1. Let me know in the comments section if you are subscribing, or drop me an email and I will be happy to know and keep account of all of you who are subscribing and how you found the resource.